Hi, everyone, and welcome to 7 Things You Probably Didn't Know About Deskmate. My name is Chris Burek, Automate's marketing campaign and content creator. Joining us today is Automate's Senior Software Development Manager, Shylah Weber, and Product Knowledge Expert, Steve Garzone. And they'll be sharing some tips and tricks for desking deals in the dealership and additional new features to Deskmate. If you have any questions during the presentation, feel free to submit them to us using the GoToWebinar toolbar next to your window, and we'll answer your questions at the end of the presentation. So right now, I'm going to hand it over to Steve and Shylah.
Hi guys, this is Shylah. So I'm a software development manager here at Automate, and I manage the team that actually writes all of the applications for the sales area of the dealership, including Deskmate. So today what we're going to do is go through desking, pretty much doing a deal end to end. And within that, we're going to show you a bunch of things that you might not have known you could do with our desking tool. So we'll start off with the desk log. We'll show you how we have real-time service history through third-party integrations, give you evaluation on a vehicle via NADA Bookout, show you one of the recent additions to desking, which is our new gross profit incentive and commission screen, show you how to run credit through some of our third parties, show you our compare and multi-quote screen where you can give different options to a customer, quote them different vehicles side by side and different terms and things like that. Go into our protected and unprotected proposals as well as some of our regular worksheets. And then I'll show you at the end some new stuff that's coming out. So if you haven't already heard, our F&I system is sort of being phased out over the next few years with desking really replacing it. So one of the next things to roll out will be billing deals and printing forms right from desking without ever having to go into F&I. And along with that will be electronic signature capture on forms. Of course, you can e-contract. And then once you have the new forms coming out of desking, we also have forms history that will live side by side with the proposal history, which you should already have. So I will let Steve start walking you through a deal from here.
So here we are. This is our main desking screen. Now from here, what we're looking at here, this is your desk log. So everything over here on the left-hand side, you got your deal number. Before we get started on that, I just want to give you a couple of updates on this desking piece. There is a lot of good information in here that we have on the desking side as opposed to the F&I billing side. The idea here is to make sure everything's all on one screen, give you the ability to increase your sales. As we all know, time kills all deals. So we want you to have the ability to do your sales, printing forms, create a mini menu right here in the system. So the idea today is to take one new idea, one tip, one tool that's going to make your job faster and more efficient. So jumping back in, over here on the left-hand side, we have all of our deal numbers. We have our info section here that I'll go through in a second. You've got your date, your buyer, your stock number, your vehicle. Now, as you already know, our statuses are pending, sold, and closed. With the desking tool, we do give you the ability to create custom statuses. So I've got this guy here, that's pending, sold, not delivered. So if you want to make this in the wash bay, whatever the case may be. So as you can see over here on the right-hand side, this guy left a $100 deposit and he's picking it up on Tuesday. Department, new, used, wholesale, that hasn't changed. You got your salespeople, your managers, your amount finance, and total profit. Down here in the bottom, we are going to give you this graph. It's going to let you know how many deals you have out, whether it's cash, lease, or finance. You've got your gross profit over here, same thing, cash, lease, or finance. You don't have to have this up in your face all day. You can actually collapse this. And this is all based off permission, so you don't even have to have certain people who have access to this. So if I click summary data here, that's just going to hide that for me. Now, I am looking at deals for the month. If I want to look at all my deals for today, I can go ahead and click today. I can look at deals by a specific date range. So if I want to look at the deals from the 24th to the 31st, I can put that in here and I can do that as well. All of these fields you can toggle. So if you wanted to filter these any way you wanted, you can do that as well. You do actually have the ability to create reports out of the desk log too. Over here on the right-hand side, we give you this search feature. So if you're looking for a deal, you can type in first name, last name, vehicle information, pretty much anything that's in the sales suite. Under this info section, we're going to give you a few identifiers.
Right now, 23.
So you might recognize some of this stuff from vehicle merchandising. So this snowflake here, that's letting us know it's an overage unit. Now I've got mine set at 90 days. You can set yours up for any date range you want for new vehicles and used vehicles.
If people have a question.
We've also got this birthday cake here. That's letting us know vehicle's over a year old and it's time to go. We're also going to give you this calendar here. That's letting you know of any future deals. So in this case, this guy's going out on the 31st. Along with that, we're also going to give you this yellow sticky pad here. That's just letting you know there's a note attached to the deal. We've got this blue card that's letting us know there's a trade attached to this deal, and then this wrench letting us know of an open RO. So as I come into this deal, it's going to bring us into our main deal screen. Up in the top left-hand corner, you've got your buyer. Right below that, you've got your co-buyer. Below that, you've got your stock number, which would have come over from the CRM, or you can enter it manually. Now, under stock number, if you wanted to search your inventory, you go ahead and do that. Now, what's really nice about this feature is when you do click search and you're looking for your inventory, we are going to give you how many days old your vehicles are. Moving down to the trade, as you already know, the system does allow up to 3 trades. If this was going to be a delivered unit, you can assign it a stock number right from here. Once the VIN number is put in, all the information is going to decode. You've got your allowance, your payoff, your ACV. Along with that, right from the desking screen, you can actually add your payoff information. Down below that, we do also offer an NADA book out. So from here, you can actually book the vehicle out. You can rate the condition, add your mileage, and then as I start adding my accessories here, you're going to see these NADA values on the right-hand side start to calculate. From here, I can print this out if I wanted to, show the customer it's going to have what book it's actually coming from, and I can push any of these amounts right to my ACV. Down below that, we've got our sale price, trade allowance, and payoff. This guy right here, that's our ACV, and you have the ability to hide that if you wanted to. We got our cash down, rebates, accessories, service contracts. So you will be happy to hear that there's no more F6. So if you want to add an accessory, a service contract, all you have to do is come in here, click on the box, and you can pick and choose what you want to add. You can change these on the fly if you wanted to. You can even add new products down below, whether it's a bed liner or dents, whatever the case may be. Now, we're not going to make you get out of this box if you're selling your service contract. You just click these toggles up on the top here as well. Moving over to my middle box, we have a retail information. So there's no more remembering those bank codes. All your lenders are going to be in this box on one simple drop down. So I'm looking at a retail deal now. If I want to change this to a lease, all I have to do is hit my leasing lender, throw in my residual, and I can go to work. I'll come back over here to a retail deal. Got my vehicle information, how many days old, my color, cost, and holdback. Speaking of cost, if I click on this cost here, this is going to show me what's made up. So this is anything that's closed out, billed through accounting. I'm just going to back up for 1 second. I'm going to come back up to my stock number here. Those identifiers we had on our desk log, we are going to put those next to your stock number. So if I click on this guy here, that's letting me know of an open PO. So this guy's down the road getting some dents done. Got my open RO here. And when I click on this, it's going to show me all of my service history from this vehicle. Now with this star here, that's letting me know of my work in progress. And I have the ability to double click on this to drill down for a closer look. Now this is all done in real time. So anytime a new line is opened up in service, it's going to ship back over here to your desking side so you can see all this information. So there's a lot of information here. You have your technician information, all your part information, your cause, complaint, correction, any sublets that might occur in this vehicle. And what's really nice about this is being a sales manager, working deals on the front end, is right down here in the bottom right, we're going to give you your line total. So you know you have an extra $170 you need to account for when working a deal on this used car. Coming back into the service history, if there was any open recalls, you can actually see that information here as well. And then for all the dealers that have a Carfax account, we're going to give this to you completely free. This is what we call My Carfax. You're going to have the ability to see all of your last performed maintenance, your detailed service history, and all your open recalls on any of your off-brand vehicles. With your Carfax account, we're going to give this to you in parts, service, and sales. And again, that's completely free to you with a Carfax account. Moving over here to my deal recap, right now we're at 521. The roll feature remains the same as it does in F&I billing. If this customer wants to be at, say, 500, you put in your desired roll amount, and then it's going to ask you, what do you want to do with the money? Do you want to put in down payment, the trade allowance, the sale price, or the rate? Moving down below my taxes, we have our gross. We got our front gross, back gross, and total deal gross. If I click on this total here, this is going to bring up what my gross consists of. So up on the top, we're going to have our front products, or sorry, our front gross. Down at the bottom here, you're going to have your back gross. Now, new to the desking tool, we actually have the ability to calculate the amount financed for your reserve. Along with that, if for some reason the salesperson sold this paint and fab up front, you can just click send to front and it's going to reflect on the front gross. You've got your incentive sections here. Here's that open PO and open RO that's going to come directly out of the front gross. And then now you can also calculate commissions out of the desking tool as well. So you don't have to go into your F2 gross screen, F3, find your salespeople, look up the codes. All that information is going to be in here. Over on the right-hand side, you got your profit summary, and then here's that open RO that's going to come out of the front gross. Now, moving along down at the bottom here, down the bottom left-hand corner, we give you the shield. We call that customer mode. If we have our gross here, our cost here. If you got a customer at your desk or maybe a salesperson looking over your shoulder, if you hit this shield, it's going to hide all of your deal-sensitive information. Now, for the dealers out there that have their salespeople working deals, you can actually give them access to this view so they can't see any of the costs. Moving over to your credit, you have the ability to process credit through the system as well. For those that are using Route 1, we have a two-way bi-directional push-pull. So let's say you sell this customer at 6.9, you get them approved at 3.9. You want to send this information back to Automate. All you have to do is make the change over on Route 1, ship it back over to the Automate side. We also have integration with Cuddle, DealerTrack, and 700 Credit, which we run a partnership with. You can do soft pulls from the system, or if I want to do a hard pull through Route, or 700 Credit, I can choose my credit bureaus. And then when I hit submit, this is going to bring up all of my RBPN notices, my adverse action letters. At this point, we're also going to give you a compliance dashboard. So if for some reason you forgot to answer any of those out-of-wallet questions or verify the ID, you can come back in here and take a look at those again. Here we go. So from here, you can look at your RBPN notices, your adverse action letters. Here is that compliance dashboard right here. So again, if you wanted to take a look at a bureau that was ran in the past, you can do that. If you need to answer any out-of-wallet questions from previous, you can do that as well. Then down here, you can answer out-of-wallet questions, you can verify your ID, and then you can go ahead and take a look at the report. Coming out of here, we are going to store that next to your tax rate, and that's going to stay there for 90 days. Moving along the bottom, down the bottom right-hand corner, you're going to get this comparison in your multi-quote. This is going to be part of the system. So when I click on my compare, this is going to give you a side-by-side A/B comparison. Now from here, you can copy deals. If you wanted to add deals, you can do that. You can maybe change this to a cash, lease, balloon. So right now we're looking at a 60-month term. If I wanted to change this guy here to maybe 72 months, I can do that right here. If I wanted to print this single point deal out, I can go ahead and click my printer. It's going to bring up a deal worksheet. If I wanted to print all of these quotes, I can come on the bottom here and click print, and it's going to have all of those options side by side. You can have your dealership information up on the top. This is just in PDF format. You can email this, print this out, hand it to the customer, whatever the case may be. What I really like about this side-by-side comparison is right now we're looking at a $31,000 Equinox. If this might be a little bit too much car for this customer, I can put another vehicle in here side by side. So now this vehicle is $25,000. Mr. Customer, which way do you want to go? The customer says, I'll take this 60-month term. I hit my thumbs up. Now it's going to move back into my deal screen, and then I can continue working the deal. Along with that, we are going to give you this multi-quote. Now with the multi-quote, this is really based off selection. So you've selected the vehicle, now you just haven't agreed on terms. And you can set this up however you want, and you can always change it on the fly. So I like to have my multi-quote set up with 2 lease deals and 4 finance deals. And what's nice about this is over here, I can have different rebates associated with different deal types if I wanted to. I can add lenders right from here, and I can even take them away. Now with this, we do also have a subscription with AIS rates and residuals where you can pull factory rates, residuals, and rebates directly into the system. Now, once I have all my information, it's going to bring up this screen. Over on the left-hand side, I've got my term, I've got my lender information here, I've got my different rates and residuals in the middle, my payment information, and here's my profits. Again, those can be hidden if you've got a customer-facing screen. Up here where it says max payment, if you want to filter out these payments for, say, $500, you can go to put that in. It's going to show you all your different options. But in this case, I want to show my customer all my options. I'm going to come down here to the bottom left. I'm going to print this quote out. We do give you some options as far as your proposals as well. We've got a deal worksheet. You've got a 4-square, and then we've got this protected, unprotected, which I'll go through in a minute. It's more like a mini menu that we put into the system. So I'm just going to use the worksheet for now. I can use cash down from the deal. I can use different increments if I wanted to, and my own custom cash, 1,000, 1,250, 2,290. I can also include my rates and money factors here. And then if you want to show some sort of a discount, you can even include your MSRP. You also have the ability to range the customer by any desired amount. So in this case, I'm going to range this customer by 30 bucks. And then when I click OK, this is going to bring up the same PDF worksheet. It's going to have your dealership information up on the top. Over here on the left-hand side, you're going to have your sale information. You've got your cash option here and your different financing and leasing options down below. Now, at this point, if you want to go ahead and send this out by email to your customer, maybe print this out, have them sign off, and create an offer. Now, at this point, the customer says, I'll take this 60-month term. You can double-click, and now you're back in your deal screen. So as far as adding salespeople, again, you don't have to worry about their codes anymore. Up here in the top right-hand corner, just going to give you this drop-down so you can add your codes and save the deal to have F&I take a look at it. Now, before we send this back over to F&I know it's going kind of out of order, but I do want to show this to you. Under my multi-quote screen, under our printing quote, we talked about this before. We give you the protected versus unprotected. And I call it a mini menu. From here, you can use the same cash down from the deal. You can use those same increments. You can also use the custom cash. And then you can use the MSRP here if you wanted to show some sort of a discount. Your protected versus unprotected, you can choose your monthly breakdown, whether it's monthly, daily, or weekly. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and use daily. And then you can create packages based off what products you want to sell. So if I say lease package here, and we're not sure if they want a new car or used car, but we'll call it new car, we can do that. And then when I click OK, here's your different print. Got your customer information over here on the left-hand side. We got our trade-in information over here on the right. We've got our vehicle information over here as well. And then on the right-hand side, we've got our products. So, Mr. Customer, for this Dent Protect, 17 cents a day. Don't you think it's worth protecting your investment? Then down at the bottom here, you've got your financing options, your leasing options, your protected versus your unprotected. Here's your different cash down, your monthly payments. That's for your protected portion. And then down below that, we have our unprotected, your cash down, and then your monthly increment. Again, you can email this to the customer if you wanted to. You can print this out, have them sign off on that. Now, before we have Shylah go over the back-end information, I do just want to close out of here for 1 second and just show you one thing that I did forget to talk about. For the dealers that are out there that do a lot of fleet accounts, or I should say dealer trades or fleet accounts, we did offer what's called our deal copy. So at any one of these deals, once you create the deal the first time, if you want to create this deal for, 10 or 15 sprinters, all you have to do is right-click, copy deal, and then really all you have to do is throw in your different stock numbers here. It's going to copy that exact deal. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back into Mr. Rockford here, and then I'm going to turn it over to Shylah, and then she's going to go over the new pieces on that billing side.
Okay, so the stuff that I'm about to show you right now is basically in development. We're piloting with a couple of dealers starting in May. So if this is something that you're interested in, it's something that will be coming out soon that you can get involved in if you'd like to be an early adopter or pilot or anything like that. So basically, this is replacing the menu option for billing deals in F&I. So you'll come down here, you'll have this new billing button. So you click into that. And this is essentially the same functionality that's in F&I right now, just a little bit nicer presentation, where you can sort of go through the deal, checks, and make sure all of your information is exactly the way you want it before you print forms. So you review the buyer. If you have a co-buyer in the deal, you'll review the co-buyer. And you can see up here, as you go through each piece of the deal, it'll sort of check off your checklist there that you've seen it and reviewed it. So if you wanted to add a salesperson to the deal here, we could do that. Continue along. Update any insurance policies on the deal, enter a policy number and an effective date if you wanted to, and an expiration date, your lien holder information, update the vehicle. So this would get pushed back to vehicle merchandising if you put in any of the information here as you're filling out the deal. Service contracts, you can either use the mileage from the deal or you can enter separate mileage. And then if there are trades on the deal, you would end up being able to go through those here. And again, these would push into vehicle merchandising when you close out the deal. So once you get through the billing, now's the exciting part. So save and print down here will take you to our new forms. So this basically, it has added some enhancements from the way that we used to do forms in F&I. So you'll see up here packages. What you can actually do is create a package with multiple forms in it. So say you're printing the same 5 forms for most deals, or maybe it's OEM specific or something like that. You can create separate packages and load the entire package over to this forms that will print area. But to keep this demo short, I'm just going to take an odometer disclosure and put that over here. So this is what we'll print out. If I put 2 forms over there, you'll see that you can actually change the order. If you wanted to print them in a different order, you can move them up, move them down. And then we're just going to hit start printing. So this will pop up now, and this is part of our new electronic signature capture. So we're rolling that out starting in parts and service, and then it will also hit forms. So if you want to use electronic signature on this, we're going to say yes. And then for each form, you're going to review the information that will print on the form. So if you had the prompts on your forms, you'll see those here. We can hit OK. And then we're actually going to give you a PDF preview of the form. So you can see all the information filled out here. You can zoom in on it if you want to take a closer look at it. Just make sure that all that information is correct before we move on to signing. So this proceed to signing button right here, we'll bring that up. And we have a tablet set up, which is Steve's tablet. So I will request a signature. Okay, and so this window here is what the tablet would have on it. So this is basically what the customer would see. So they're going to tap right here. They see there's a signature. They can either hit next and it will automatically pop up, or actually tap on the tablet. So if we want to sign this one first, we'll come in here and sign it. And then sign the next one. And next, we'll bring them to actually the next document. If you see over here, it'll walk them through as you check off a document, you've signed everything on the document. Sign these other 2 spots. And then once they're finished, we'll come back over. So the tablet goes away. And on the AMP screen, you'll see that the customer's finished signing. And then you come back into the deal. So this button down here, you probably have in your application right now if you have desking, and you'll see that in here is the proposal history. So this will have any of the worksheets that we just printed out and put in front of the customer. So if you want to know, what numbers did I put in front of them 2 weeks ago or whatever, you can come in here and see that. But we also have form history for those forms that we just printed. So you can actually see their signature. They digitally signed this, so it's saved in here. And anything that you printed through that new forms process would be saved in here, aside for any older impact forms that you still have to print that are not digital. And then the last thing, if you don't know, you can also e-contract. We use Route 1 to do e-contracting, so you have the e-contracting button here. Okay, so I don't know if anybody's been to the User Summit, but if you haven't, the User Summit is a great place to kind of influence some of these new things that we're working on as the development team. You get to actually meet with people like myself from the development team and provide input into the new features we're working on, like some of the stuff I just showed you. We also kind of teach you how to use each area of our application to really make sure you're doing all the best practices and being as efficient as possible in our system. And we have sessions and workshops that are tailored to each part of the dealership. So whether you're in sales, office, fixed ops, there's something there for you. So that's in San Antonio, November 7th to 9th, and registration opens next month. If anybody has any questions, we'd be happy to take questions now. You can do that by, there's a little questions. If you're on the go to webinar screen, there's a little drop down that says questions, and you can submit a question right there.
All right, so we're going to open it up for some questions. We've got a few that came in during the webinar, but like Shylah mentioned, feel free to submit any more that you might have. The first question that we received is, when can I get the new features that are not released yet?
So one of the things we're always looking for are pilot dealers, which is really where you work with us. We give you a very early revision of the software, and you kind of tell us if there are any issues or if there are features that you would like added to the new stuff we're working on. So if you wanted to be on the early adopter side and be a pilot dealer, that could happen as early as next month. But from there, we'll be rolling them out probably through the rest of the summer on to the end of the year. So it just depends.
All right, and what's the benefit of using DeskMate rather than a third-party solution to desk my deals?
Well, I would say if you're using a third party to desk your deals, there's got to be some sort of duplicate entry somewhere. Along with that, if you're using our desking tool, all of our state calculations, lease calculations, they are all up to par. So there won't be any discrepancies between, say, an eLeads or one of the other VIN solutions in the system.
Do we need to create a customer number if it's a new customer that's not currently in the DMS?
Well, that depends. If you're going to be delivering the vehicle, you're going to have a customer number. If you're just looking to do a quick quote, you can actually tap on quick quote, or you can do a quick quote from the main deal screen just to give a quote, or some preliminary numbers, I should say. But if this is going to be a vehicle that's going to be delivered, you will need a new customer number.
And what are some ways DeskMate can save my sales department time?
Well, that's exactly where I was going to go next. So the dealers that don't have desking, we'd like to get you on the desking tool, just because, again, I say there's no more F6, and that was a huge time saver for me working on the desking tool. For dealers that do have it, so when we rolled this thing out 5-6 years ago, it was really just a front end tool. So you could add your customer, you could add the vehicle you're selling, and you could add your fees, and well, I think even rebates as well. So since this has evolved over the years, we've made this a complete front end, back end tool. So your F&I managers can now come into the service contracts, add their service contracts, sell their service contracts, deductibles, months, miles. You can add accessories on the fly. You can create that mini menu that we've given you. And you can have everything all done in the desking tool, all on one screen. So you're not flip-flopping back and forth between F&I working deals in number 2 and then going into billing deals number 3. We want to make this as easy as possible, as efficient as possible, and as fast as possible.
And we've got a question here that says, when will F&I billing be going away, and when will everything be in DeskMate?
So F&I billing, like I said, is going to be phased out probably over the next year or slightly longer than that. So it depends where we have to make sure that all of our logic is sound state by state. Obviously, the calculations are different state by state. So it'll really depend what state you're in. But if you wanted more information on that and we can find out what state you're in, that would help.
All right, it doesn't look like we have any more questions. But if you have any additional questions that we didn't answer about DeskMate, feel free to email us at marketing@automate.com. Again, we really encourage you guys to go to User Summit. It's a great opportunity to learn best practices in the software, learn more about these new features that we have rolling out. Thank you for attending, and we hope to see you all at User Summit in San Antonio.